Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this very slowly, and I'm going to speak in a very, easy to understand manner. So morally superior, highly educated, virtuous Democrats who are absolutely fantastic people who happen to be mortified and indignant that mashed potato brains would ever be impeached by lowly Trump Republicans, the lowly Trumpers. That's going to happen numerous times, and I'll explain why. New York Post. Joe met with Hunter's business partner at the White House. This is an article by Joe Levine and Miranda Devine, April 23rd, 2022. He lied about that. End of story. They got Bill Clinton on perjury for lying about something that was not a national security issue. Oh my goodness. We were in the Oval Office and we were talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles. And lo and behold, I needed a prop. Anyway, they impeached Bill Clinton, and actually, looking back, the impeachable offense was not what he did, because it was consensual. The impeachable offense was he lied about it. He actually committed perjury. He lied under oath. What is? And that's a philosophical question we have to talk about. What is? And so they impeached Bill Clinton. They impeached Trump twice on the most absurd, he didn't cause, the D.C. Attorney General, Mayor of D.C., nobody in the federal government actually indicted or charged or accused Trump in a court of law for anything that had to do 2 years ago. But they impeached him anyway. Then they impeached him because they said that he was pressuring another country. The president of that country literally stated that nobody was pressuring him, that Trump never pressured him. But they got a whole bunch of smart people, and we think that Trump was doing this because, mashed potato brains as pure as the driven snow. He shouldn't be investigated by any country. He's asking another country for help against Democrats. Don't we know that Bernie Sanders being cheated was publicized around the world in a Kremlin plot? What they do is they mask their absolute corruption within this cloak of another country wants you to know, so therefore don't listen to another country talking about how we cheated Bernie Sanders or how Hunter and Joe are corrupt beyond belief. And they're basically selling access to the United States government, just like when money went into the foundation and, coincidentally, President Obama didn't veto the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity at the time. Guess who owned it? Oh, that's right, our mortal enemy. But anyway, this is one of many New York Post articles. One of many. Everyone at the New York Post who broke this story or continued to write about this story and break this story should win the Pulitzer Prize. That's what the Pulitzer Prize is for. Not for Washington Post journalists who find out that Trump didn't give as much charity or philanthropy as he once claimed to have given. Literally, one person at the Washington Post got a Pulitzer for finding out that Trump wasn't as charitable as he claimed. Are you kidding me? How on earth is that hard-hitting journalism that helps mankind or helps people, helps the average American citizen? This is like you have journalists that are activists. They can't possibly ask questions about Joe. For example, CNN. Did Hunter receive $3.5 million from the former mayor of Moscow's wife? And it goes on to say, some context is needed. Could you imagine there would never be any context if Trump or Donald Trump or Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. received? And so they didn't give the money into Hunter's pocket because, there were paintbrushes there because he's an artist now. So they couldn't give money into Hunter's pocket. But, it went into the Seneca firm and Rosemont or whatever. And so you can read it. I know I just read it right now. I've read it before. You can read it. The needs that context. He didn't actually accept the money from the mayor of Moscow's wife. CNN explains that, well, she gave money into a firm he started. But he never had anything to do with the firm after he started it. So really, there's nothing there. Yeah, guess what? Republicans will fixate on this. They will focus on this and hopefully implement pro-business economic policies, or economic policies that will grow the GDP, unlike Democrats, who do everything to stifle economic growth, which is why we have 8 to 9% inflation, negative GDP. We're going into a recession. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Go to the Stock Market Crash channel. I have a segment on the Stock Market Crash channel right now. The Bitcoin Crash to 10,000 or lower channel right now. Very important segments. I know some people are like, why do you talk about those channels? Because I'm trying to grow them. And like, I'm my only sponsor. I'm going to get a sponsor, hopefully, or look for sponsors when we go over 200,000. But I never thought of getting, everyone has a sponsor now, and every YouTube channel, I never thought of actually, like this segment is sponsored by, but honestly, like, I have 2 other channels and this channel, so I'm growing, like, I'm my own sponsor. You're the sponsor. If you want to support my work to my new Patreons, I can't thank you enough. So if you enjoy my work, my Patreon is like, the Patreon support is unbelievable. Thank you. If you want to support my work, your Patreon support is greatly appreciated. The link is below in the pinned comment. If you want to give a super thanks to this, thank you so very much. And become a member if you'd like. But ladies and gentlemen, share this segment everywhere. They're going to impeach Joe because there's so much to impeach him on. Hunter and Joe, like Bill and Hillary, made money by either promising or giving the impression that a foreign billionaire corporation would get preferential treatment or beneficial treatment in some manner. It's not difficult to understand. They impeached Trump on a transcript. No money trail, no millions of dollars with shady business people. No. A transcript. Here you have emails written from Hunter and others. And you have business partners who are willing to testify during the impeachment and under oath in any criminal trial. And you have the United States government going after Hunter's taxes now. So the United States government actually had an ongoing investigation of Hunter while they were impeaching Trump, if you could believe this, for the audacity and the crime against humanity of potentially asking another country to investigate his direct political rival, which is exactly what Democrats did with the Durham probe, or with the Crossfire Hurricane. And the issue with the Durham probe is that they just have to change. John Durham, just has to change his strategy a bit and go for the home run. 18 U.S. Code 371. You have a whole lot of people who conspired against Trump, an outgoing Democratic administration investigating an incoming Republican administration based on suspicion. Sorry, you can't do that. Because guess what? People are suspicious of Joe and Hunter and Bill and Hillary. But Democrats say, how dare you? We need absolute categorical proof, a signed confession, and if we don't get that, you can't investigate. So, sorry, you can't just investigate because the suspicion is based on what Trump's direct political rival gave the United States government in the form of an analysis of DNC servers, which were never looked at by the United States government or Comey, in the form of a Steele dossier purchased by Clinton, or hearsay and gossip from Alexander Downer, who's tied to the foundation. They're so happy when they say, well, it wasn't the Steele dossier, it was something else. Well, so what? That meeting was a setup anyway. The exculpatory evidence showing that George Papadopoulos never stated what Downer and Mifsud claimed he stated was withheld. The man was set up beyond belief. The most corruption you've ever seen in your life took place under President Obama's administration, especially his last year. And so, again, Democrats revel and rejoice in that. You can't prove that we are corrupt. But with Trump, it's like, well, you know what? Very smart people said he did something bad. So, you know what? He did. His impeachment, the first impeachment, was a bunch of smart people who didn't like Trump saying that he did something bad. They never had any evidence. They never had any emails. They never had any money trail. They never had anything. They said, oh, well, he didn't give the funding as quickly as he should have. Well, that's up to the discretion of the president, genius. It's unbelievable because Joe actually, Mashed Potato Brains actually withheld $1 billion. And then they say, well, that was to force out a very corrupt prosecutor. It's not for Joe or any Democrat to force any government official of another country out of their country. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is a big thing that needs to be talked about. President Mashed Potato Brains is going to be impeached. Almost certainly twice. Because then you have his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, a part of not only the Durham probe, but numerous parallel investigations in the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Senate will almost certainly go Republican too. And so you need to be talking about this if you're interested in politics and not just, oh my God, Sussman wasn't convicted. Even if he was convicted, he would have got a month in jail, max, maybe 2 months. But the thing is, Durham found out that Clinton personally went ahead and sanctioned the absurd fake news story about Alpha Bank to journalists. That's part of the 18 U.S. Code 371. Like I said, though, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024 or Hillary Clinton, DeSantis 2024. Nobody would be happier on the planet, literally on the planet, than I would to see Madam Secretary run again, and she should. I mean, do you think that Mashed Potato Brains would be too much for her? I don't think so. To get the nomination, they don't even have a process anyway. It's just a theatrical performance. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. This is something that should gain steam because November is going to be a Trump Republican House and Senate, and the impeachment of Joe is directly tied to Hunter. He met with Hunter at the White House. Joe Biden met with Hunter, business partner, at the White House. Hunter's closest business partners made at least 19 visits to the White House and other official locations between 2009 and 2015. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why didn't I read this before in the first in the first minute? Why? Why did I wait until the last minute? My God Almighty. 19 visits. Okay, the impeachment trial will be amazing. You could literally just read the New York Post reporting, and these journalists should get Pulitzer Prizes. They should get Pulitzer Prizes. Because this is what journalism is. Guess what? If Trump had emails that were left at a computer repair store, I would report it. And I would talk about it. And I would say, hey, I like Trump. I love Trump. He's great. I voted for him. Infinitely better than any Democrat. But, hey, this looks bad. And here's why. And you know what? He probably did do what Hunter's doing. I would say that. I wouldn't be like a Democrat, loyal partisan, beyond, Children of the Corn, brainwashed, it's nothing. It's nothing. With Trump, I've always said, go and indict him if you can indict him. Otherwise, you're just lying. You have nothing. With Clinton and Comey covered up for Clinton. Anyone else would have been indicted. With Trump, it's not a matter of anyone else would have been indicted. Because Lord knows if they could have, they would have. With Democrats, unless it's the 3 Democrats in St. Louis, and the Democrats, their whole concept of privilege is like a smokescreen. They go after 3 St. Louis Democrats, but they won't go after Sussman or any top Democrat. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. He'll get impeached numerous times, at least once, actually twice, at least twice. If they impeach him 3 times, that'll be fantastic. But anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Ask yourself, is your life better under Mashed Potato Brains than under Trump? Of course it's not. The economy, foreign policy, especially the economy. Give me your thoughts. Thank you. I'll be back in about 2 hours. Thank you.